Hello everyone, and welcome to the full moon in Sagittarius, the manifesting visionary secret code name readings. All right, this is secret code name Optimus Prime. All right, Optimus Prime, like the Transformer. All right, for those of you who are not familiar with how these work, these secret code name readings are purchased by individuals via my Etsy shop. All right, once they purchase it, I let them know I got them and that their secret code name is fill in the blank. All right, in this case it's Optimus Prime. All right, this is their personal reading. All right, it's their personal reading. The beauty, however, of these events is that you may resonate to one in divine time. All right, you may resonate to the secret code name in divine time whenever it crosses your path, which means there's most likely a message in here for you. Okay, so for today, I'm using my Psychic Tarot of the Heart deck and my Wisdom of the Oracle cards to figure out what the actual vision that you're holding is. Then I'm using my custom energy descriptor deck. All right, it's a custom deck that I created. You can only find it here and nowhere else until it eventually potentially ends up in my Etsy shop. We'll see. And I'm using this as a guide to what your energy is, right? So what the vision is and what your energy is. And then I'm using my Wild Unknown Tarot to get an idea of what the manifestation ends up being, right? Insight into the actual manifestation based on your vision and the energy that you are manifesting from, right? What the outcome of that combination is. And then I'm using my Universe Has Your Back deck as a guidance pull at the end. So, also, for those of you who follow me on Facebook, all right, be reminded that I started a new page, Energenie 22 by Nicole Myths, all right, on Facebook for the strict purpose of announcing any new items, new services in my shops, any flash sales that I'm doing, and the different, secret code name events, the moon events and the divine duality events. Okay. I didn't want those kinds of posts pushing down my other posts on the feed of my main page, and vice versa, right? So everything that I create and offer is now on its own page. All right, so if you follow my services, follow my merchandise and things like that, and you want to see all the new stuff that I'm coming out with, including like when these are announced, right, to purchase, you can find it on Facebook. You just type in the @ symbol, Energenie 22. It's the same as my new Twitter account, all right, and it'll come up. So, with that said, let's get into it. Secret code name Optimus Prime. Here we go. Spirit, please. What is the vision for secret code name Optimus Prime and those who would be guided to it in divine time? What is the vision? What is the vision? All right. Clarities, please. Okay. Where's your energy at? Okay. What is the result of this vision plus that energy? Clarities, please. One more. Jesus. Okay. And what is the guidance, please, Spirit? Okay. All right, so listen. Secret code name Optimus Prime. All right, and those who would resonate to this message in divine time, whenever it's meant to cross your path, because there's a message in here for you. Okay. We've got the Ace of Wands clarified by building blocks. We've got the Three of Cups, or share the love, clarified by go the distance. We've got Control, or the Strength card, clarified by orphaned. We've got Simply Love, which is the Six of Cups, clarified by the Fates. And then we've got awaiting results, clarified by blessed. Okay. Your energy is, you see yourself as desirable, okay? But you're lacking perception, okay? Perceptive is not your thing, which is the bleeding heart, or the blind empath, okay? The blind empath. You also see yourself as very assertive. You know you're jaded, okay? And what you fail to see in your shadow is looming expectations, right? That you are an idealist, but not in a healthy way. Okay. So listen. What goes on in the visual mind, right? The thoughts and the things that they create. You see yourself in your mind like this new beginning, right? You want this new beginning that you can build from. New beginning. Always looking at the new beginning. Something to get you excited, right? It's almost like this feeling of chasing a high, right? Chasing a high. Being at the top or being at the pinnacle and still looking for something bigger or better in the distance, right? Not necessarily being happy with the creation. Always feeling like there's something bigger and better out there than what you've got. Something more exciting, right? Something more thrilling. Being perpetually dissatisfied. Share the love, the Three of Cups with go the distance. I think you put way too much energy going above and beyond into third-party people. Okay? You have all these grand visions that you want to create with third parties. And you're presenting them, which is essentially a broken heart, okay? It's a broken heart. You're saying, see, it's healed, but the fracture is still there, right? And you have this looming shadow of partnerships all in the background of your mind. So you're focusing on third-party people when really what you want is a partnership dynamic, a healthy partnership dynamic. control with orphaned, what you don't realize is that you are being seriously led by abandonment wounds, okay? Someone catching this in divine time may be adopted, okay? Feeling like they were orphaned, right? And there's this control, this pride or egoic control with wanting to heal this energy or ignore the fact that that energy is controlling you, okay? The reason why you pour so much into third parties that don't actually yield partnership leads to this manifestation, right? This fear of being alone and sad. Right, because Spirit's looking ahead. The big blue eyes, Spirit is looking ahead, but the figure is looking down. The figure is looking down. I think you have this looming fear of abandonment, which is why you overpour and go above and beyond for people that don't matter. Because what that perpetually does is manifest what is essentially abandonment when it comes to partnerships. You might have a hard time sticking around in partnerships because you're constantly looking for something better than what you have right in front of you, right? Needing more, right? Being afraid to overgive to your partner because of this jaded aspect, right? This jaded aspect, and being this blind empath, this bleeding heart blind empath, where you're giving and giving and giving to all of these third party people that don't actually hold future for you. It's not what you actually want. Like, if you want a serious long-term partnership and you want to be happy and feel like you and your partner are committed to each other type thing, then you have to focus and pour and go the distance for your partner, right? Go the distance for your partner instead of looking what else is out there that you can give and give and give to. They're not your partner, right? They're not your partner. I think a part of you just simply wants to love with this Six of Cups, sacred soulmates. You might have issues with children, feeling like fate has played a role in your relationships, because you could see the father of the masculine energy looks happy, but the son looks a bit emotionally worn. Okay, emotionally worn. And they're carrying this book of love, like they're learning love. Your children in general. Masculine energy is the doing aspect, right? The choice making aspect. Your children, male or female, right? It doesn't matter, are learning love from you, okay? They're learning love from you, and what you're teaching them is essentially being jaded and to overgive to people that are not the primary focus of what you actually want. You're constantly awaiting the results of being blessed, and you don't know why you're not being blessed. For all that you do, right, giving and giving and giving to other people in compassion and consideration for other people, being the empath for other people, you're not actually considering yourself. You're not actually considering your partnership. You're not prioritizing your partner. And when you're not prioritizing your partner, right? The person loyal to you in soul that wants to grow old with you. And you're prioritizing everybody else but them. And you end up in this orphaned energy, right? Trying to control them while looking down. Almost like you want them to be happy with your broken heart being presented to them. Like, yeah, my heart's broken, I'm jaded, go the distance for me, right? Go the distance for me. But yet you are not necessarily going the distance for them, right? You're going the distance for everybody else but them. So what does that energy of not being the ideal yourself, right? Not being the ideal, that you would have to, that you really do have to let go of these looming expectations. Like, you don't want expectations on you with your partner because, you know, if you don't meet their expectations, then, you know, you failed. So you don't want expectations from your partner because you don't want to fail, and yet you might have a lot of expectations on your partner to sit back and deal with the fact that you're broken hearted and jaded, and unable to see how your own choices, your own abandonment wounds are affecting your partnership dynamic with them. You don't realize that your children are going to repeat your fate. Okay, that how you love your partner is how they're going to learn to love their partner. So if you have issues, right? If you have issues, whatever your issues are, behavioral issues, psychological, like thought pattern issues, financial issues, addiction issues, like whatever your issues are, what you fail to heal within yourself, your children are doomed to repeat and try and heal, right? So if you don't learn how to prioritize a healthy dynamic with your partner and let everybody else become secondary, that your partnership is the primary focus because you and your partner being solid creates the foundation of solid for everything else, you wouldn't feel the constant need to be looking for something else because the foundation maybe continuously falls apart. Because when we get to the result, we have the moon clarified by the Tower, with the Judgment card clarified by both the Devil and the Seven of Swords. Which is fucking harsh. I mean, that's 4 major arcana. The moon is Piscean energy. The Tower is Mars energy. Judgment is Scorpionic, Sagittarian type energy. And the Devil is Capricorn energy. Seven of Swords is Geminian energy. They might be very significant for your chart, okay? Those different houses and what's in there. Being indecisive, right, which is essentially moon energy with Piscean energy, right? You might also be dealing with Cancerian wounds, okay? Mars energy, wherever your Mars is, you might have some serious challenges to these different houses. Squares and oppositions, especially because 3 of those energies could be cardinal, right? Mars is Aryan energy, could be also be Scorpionic energy. Like, you've got a lot going on. There could be serious self-sabotaging addictions here that you literally put your feet to the fire and then lie to yourself, right? The devil has your feet to the fire. You put your feet to the fire and you start to burn, right? You feel like you're starting to burn and you're sleeping with one eye open, afraid other people are betraying you or lying to you or taking from you, and really you're doing it to yourself. You're doing it to yourself. You're lying to yourself, thinking that your partner is going to be okay with you being jaded and not healed. Right? You might be lying to yourself, thinking that you don't need to give to your partner, that your partner should love you broken, and you're giving all of this energy to other people who don't actually fucking matter in your partnership, right? I think you need to transform, like Optimus Prime, like you need to transform from just being a vehicle of point A to point B to point C to point D, and going from point to point to point to point to point, always looking to what's new, what's new, what's new, what's new. Let me rebuild, you know, because where I'm at the top isn't good enough, right? And transform to actually fight for what is right against your shadows, which has a lot to do with this controlling abandonment wound that you got. You might deal with a serious fear of losing your partner, and it's because you're not focusing on your partner. Everybody else is a priority before your partner. And you're deceiving yourself. You're deceiving yourself. Like, your partner is probably not the issue. They're dealing with your wounds, and you're not healing your wounds, and you're over giving as an empath to other people, but you're technically being the narcissist to your partner, right? You're an empath and over giving and over generous, and that's how you see yourself with other people, but you're not realizing, right? You're not realizing that you are potentially being the narcissist to your partner. You're expecting them to give you all of this love, and you're not actually seeing the value of their love or the fact that they're sticking around even when you're in a broken state, giving to everybody else but them. This could be significant to you if you have Mars in Aries or Scorpio, right? Dignified in Aries or Scorpio. You might have a Piscean moon or have different nodal placements in Pisces. And you can have some serious scorpionic energy going on, like a significant scorpionic placement. You could have some shadow Gemini placements. And some serious Capricorn detriments, right? Mind you, if any of those houses ruled are void and you have no placements in there, then you have to focus on that energy and fill it up yourself, right? You might have to take control of your own life and stop lying to yourself. Like, it's not other people. It's not your partner that's the problem. And whatever you leave unhealed, your children are going to be doomed to heal it. Like a random example, take it how it resonates, would be, you know, if you're an alcoholic and no matter how much you love your kids, if they end up with issues with you drinking or watching you drink, they're going to manifest partners that have drinking problems in order to heal with their partner what they were left wounded with you over it. You know what I mean? You've got to be able to end that cycle. Especially with double scorpionic energy coming out with the Tower, Mars energy, and the Judgment card. You might have some serious Leo energy significant in your chart, which is why you feel so loyal, right, to love certain people, and you're putting it in the wrong places, especially if it's challenged. Squaring, you know, scorpionic energy and things like that. Because Leo is a fixed sign. It squares Scorpio, which is also a fixed sign. If you don't understand your birth chart, like, really either do your own research, take the time to do it, or reach out to me and see what we can do as far as getting a session done so that you can understand your challenges so that you can start to rise to them. Because I think you view yourself as very empathic, very loving, and very giving. And you are. But in priority of the wrong places, right? Not that the people you're giving to don't matter. It's just they're not the priority. You and your partner should be equals of priority. Like, in order for your life to flourish, then you've got to consider your partner, and your partner will consider you the same way, because, you know, they flourish with consideration of you. It's a balanced, equal, you know, give and take, so that you can both flourish equally in the life that you're building, so that you can continuously build higher and higher and higher, and never reach a peak that has you looking to see what else is out there, because it plateaus, or energetic production stops. I don't think you realize how much you rob yourself, especially if there are addictions that you're dealing with. Or you continuously manifest scenarios where people are dealing with addictions around you, and they're thieving away at your energy, whether it's financial energy, currency, or your mental energy and currency, or your love energy and consideration currency, like whatever your 5 different forms of currency are. Taking your time, taking your presence, like they're taking from you at the expense of who actually matters. Your actual partner and your kids. And how those two things are connected, right? Heart chakra, green energy. Like, you've got to be able to heal this so that your kids don't have to, type thing. Okay. So your guidance card, I'm sorry, this is an exceptionally long reading. Okay. Your guidance card: through prayer and meditation, I create a ripple effect of peace in the world. You got to be able to quiet your mind. The jaded mind, the control issues, the abandonment wounds, like the thoughts that would have you feel like your partner is the one using you, your partner is the one taking from you, or they're going to, and there's no proof of that, you know what I mean? And allowing your mind to spin. If you think your partner is cheating on you, or looking somewhere else, right? Devil energy, scorpionic energy. If you think your partner is cheating on you or whatever, and you're trying to validate it even though there's no proof, like you think your partner is cheating on you because you know you're not enough to your partner. You're enough to everybody else. You're giving enough to everybody else, but you're not giving enough to your partner, which is where those fears come from, because it wouldn't be unwarranted, right? If your partner were to cheat on you, because you're not giving what you would be giving to your partner. You're giving it to everybody else. And so there's this fear there, and whether it's founded or unfounded, it doesn't change the fact that you're constantly manifesting abandonment because of, you know, this jaded mental pattern where you're not perceiving things correctly in your mind's eye. I think you have to shift. I think that there has to be a serious shift to behavior with your partner, that you know you're good enough, that your partner wouldn't abandon you, they wouldn't betray you, they wouldn't lie to you or take from you, because they're giving back what you're giving to them, right? That it's equal. Because if you're building with a partner and it starts to fall off, you know, if your partner starts to fall off, or starts to let themselves go, or starts to not put you as a priority into consideration in the divine mirror of things, it's because you have fallen off with your partner, and you're not taking consideration of them, right? So they have to consider themselves over you, type thing. They consider themselves more where you are lacking in the consideration of them. They give more to themselves because you're not giving to them. So someone has to. So they give to themselves instead. Like, instead of blaming your partner, well, they did this, or they stopped doing that, or they won't do, you know, this like they should, or, you know, I wish they would be more of this, or I wish they would do that, like, or I wish they would wear nice clothes and dress up, you know what I mean? Like, whatever it is, like, you got to take a look at how your own energy is manifesting that response from your partner in the mirror. You have to be able to take self-ownership. Okay. So I do hope that helps you understand where you are as a manifesting visionary, right? Where you're third eye is and what it's thinking about, and where that energy is coming into play and creating the manifestation of what is essentially huge towers, huge losses, tons of illusion, right? And a lot of judgment and feeling like you're the victim when you kind of create it, right? Like you're the victim of yourself. You don't necessarily realize it, right? You quite possibly think that the people that are not hurting you are the ones that are, when you might have hurt them first and didn't realize it, right? Because if hurt people and you're feeling like someone is hurting you, chances are if they're hurt and they're hurting you, it's because you hurt them first and you just didn't realize how. Okay? You just didn't realize how. And it probably came from prioritizing everybody else but them, and you should have probably prioritized them the way you were prioritizing everybody else, right? If you're investing in other people, then maybe you should invest in your partner. If you're doing all this for other people and making this happen for other people, then maybe you should be doing that kind of thing for them, right? Especially if your partner was making you a priority and they weren't getting that in return, and then stopped making you a priority, and it's because you weren't actually prioritizing them the way they needed to be prioritized. It's not how you think they should be prioritized, it's how they deserve to be prioritized, right? I hope that makes sense. So with that said, secret codename Optimus Prime, drop a like if you haven't already. Let me know in the comments if it resonated with you, right? Especially if it was not your secret codename and you caught it in divine time. All right, if you caught it in divine time, know that my love and support is with you always, right? Always, no matter who you are and where you are in the world or what you're going through, just know that my love is with you, and you can overcome these challenges 100%. You just need to refocus, right? You just need to refocus and realign with your best self, let your woundings go, and focus on your better self, right? Focus on what you really want to manifest and how you are able to best do that, right? And how you're able to best do that. So until next time, guys, have a wonderful night. Take care.